Word, son. What do you do, YouTube? It's your boy Jay DiVine. What do you do, everybody that's listening to this on any other platform other than YouTube? How's it going, man? Today's date is March 1st. It's your boy Jay DiVine, just DiVine, Jay DiVine. It don't matter. I answer either or. What's today's date? I just said it. What is it? Trying to make sure that's the right date. Yeah, today's date is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. Yeah, man, I'm glad to be back in here, man. I got some topics I want to talk to y'all about, man. But make sure I sit back, chill, take a pee break, pause the video, get you some popcorn if you're watching this on YouTube, because you know how I do. Anywhere else, pause the podcast if you got to, get you some popcorn, take a pee break, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know how it goes, man. But without further ado, man, let's get up into it. All right, man, so first things first, man. I wanna talk about the I want to talk about the like the split that I've been seeing on some YouTubers on YouTube when they're talking about, you know, black men and black women and shit like that. You know, to me is disgusting. Like, I hate seeing so much division amongst our people. You know what I'm saying? I hate seeing it. You know, like I'm one of those ones where it's like, you know, if we could come together and really make some shit shake, like let's really come together and make something happen. You know what I mean? I'm tired of hearing about all this black men need to do this and a black woman is that. And, you know, true enough, you know, I appreciate the talk of, you know, empowering our black brothers and sisters. I appreciate that. Jesus, I sound like an old head. I mean, but I appreciate, you know, excuse me, I had to burp. Excuse me, damn. No more ginger ale before I start. Yeah, but I mean, I appreciate, you know, seeing, you know, black folks trying to uplift or empower one another. I appreciate that, but it's another thing to go in here and start saying about what black men ain't, and, you know, going down the whole lines with generalizing statements about black men and black women are this and X, Y, and Z, and then going down the line about that, and black men ain't this and black women aren't need to be that because we're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much division, you know what I'm saying, amongst black women and black men. You know, why don't we come together and really put something together instead of trying to point out all the flaws between black men, or a black man point out the flaws of a black woman? Like, enough of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all swear up and down that society is always beating y'all down, or beating us down. I'm black too. You know, beating us down and demoralizing us and degrading us and, you know, so on and so forth. But yet here you are trying to talk about how much a black man ain't doing for you, or a black man talking how much about a black woman ain't doing for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's enough of that shit already. Either come together or either come together or just stay apart. You know what I'm saying? Enough of the back and forth bickering. You know what I mean? That's literally what it is, back and forth. That's all it is all day long, just back and forth bickering. You know what I mean? I want to see everybody do good. That's just always been me. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, you can't have the same energy for everybody, but I want to see everybody do good. I don't want to see nobody fail. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know what it's like to do something and fail. You know what I mean? It might not be at the same magnitude of what we might be talking about, but I know what it's like to fail. You know, it happens. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't want to see nobody fall flat on their face, because, you know, I've been there. I've been kicked while I was down. You know, I hate to do that to somebody else. You know, so enough of all this talk about, you know, what black men ain't doing and what black women are doing. Like, it's enough. You know what I'm saying? Then the same as that time, you got to learn to have healthy conversation with open dialogue. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you're going to talk about it, at least have an open mind about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel like you're being attacked whenever you're talking about a black woman, or somebody, or a black man's talking about a black woman and the things that he sees that some black women do. And that's another thing. You gotta be careful with your words too, because if you say black women, then that'll automatically go under the assumption that you're talking about all black women. You might just be talking about some, or the ones that you've come across. You understand what I'm saying? But you forgot to add that part in, and then that's what leads to, you know, the whole teardown of black men, because, oh, black women ain't blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa for women. Like, if you're gonna talk about black men and what they not doing, you got to make sure that you put some, not all of them, or the ones that you just come across. You know what I mean? Because not all black men do that. And stop letting social media make y'all think that this is everywhere. This is happening right in front of your face. And stop that shit. Go out and go live a little. You know what I'm saying? Quit waking up every day and opening your phone, hopping on Twitter or Instagram or whatever you're on, and letting that be your shit, what's the word I'm looking for? Letting that be um your measuring rod of what it's like out there in the world. Go live a little. You understand what I'm saying? Like look at where your geographical location is. You understand what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, you can't really help everybody. So the least you can do is at least just take it upon yourself to respect a black man or black woman, especially if it deems it worthy of it. You know what I'm saying? Stop all this tearing down bullshit. You swear up and down that that's all that they do when it comes to us anyway, but here are you already trying to divide already. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, turn off the social media, put the phone down, stop listening to all these other conflicted ass people that don't know what they want. You know what I'm saying? And go out, go live a little. You understand what I'm saying? Put yourself around people that are like minded like yourself. You'll go about life a little bit easier once you start surrounding yourself around like minded people. You understand what I'm saying? If you keep surrounding yourself around people, or you keep following people that's all they do is they live in that world of black men ain't this, black women ain't that. If you consistently keep not living, but if you keep surrounding yourself around people like that, then you're bound to echo the same sentiment. You know what I'm saying? If you've experienced that, okay, cool. Readjust your lens, line your shots back up, and then go forward with a better trajectory. Stop living in this social media world where it's happening every day. It's not happening every day. You saying that because you see it on social media, so you assume that it's happening every day. Go out, go live a little. Now, don't take anything what I'm saying as me just trying to brush it off, because I know it's happening. I know it happens. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on social media enough to see it, but I'm aware that it happens. You can't have the good without the bad. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I can do is just make sure that I do my part and make sure that I respect a black man or a black woman, especially if it deems it worthy of it. You know what I mean? So, just quit with all this damn division, man. Like I see a lot of people, going on social media and especially on YouTube. Like I think it was a post I seen on YouTube, and like there were 3 topics that were up, and it was about black men dating outside their race, or black women dating outside their race, or black women, why they don't feel so and so about black men, and I forgot what it was, but I'm just like, this is division. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's division. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can talk about it, but there's never really open dialogue or any kind of healthy conversation that comes out behind that. You know what I mean? It's very counterproductive. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So that's why that's why I hate dealing with social media sometimes. But if you're on that fence, man, like, come on, you gotta look at it different, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we should be building and uplifting one another. I understand you can't do it for everybody, but at least the ones who see it and respect that, and at least try to take that effort to try to lift, to take your uplifting or uplift someone, you gotta respect that. But as far as everybody else, it's just like, you gotta think better than that. You can either surround yourself around people that are like-minded like you, or you can constantly sit in that same situation expecting for it to get better when you know good and damn well it's not. And they call that insanity. But let's see. Moving forward, so I'm gonna stay on topic for social media real quick. And I saw a post that I saw it, and I was just like, let me see what the people are talking about, right? So there was this oh geez, what was it? It was this girl, and she had on, like, she was butt ass naked, right? But she had like this little see-through sheer dress or something like that. Like, she was ass naked. You can see her nipples and everything. Like, she was butt naked, right? But I think she was like on the inside of the house though, right? So I seen it, and I'm just like, you've seen one, you've seen them all, so it's not really like, oh damn, let me go like this picture. Damn, she bad than a motherfucker. Like, you've once you've seen one, you've pretty much seen them all. So it's like, I keep scrolling. You know what I mean? I don't really, if they say if you're having nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. Or if it's how people will say sometimes when you get triggered by something and you comment on it, they'll always say, well, if you didn't like it, then why'd you stop the comment, or why'd you do X, Y, and Z? You could have kept scrolling. So that's what I did. I kept scrolling, but I looked at the comments, and it was on Twitter. I looked at the tweets underneath, or the replies underneath the tweet, and some people were saying, oh, where do y'all really think y'all going with that on? Some of the men were saying that. Some women were saying, you're doing too much. You got some that were saying y'all don't know where she could be going. She might be going to a beach or something. And somebody said, well, I know she ain't going to Walmart looking like that, and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Then you had some that was on the whole empowerment tip where they was like, well, a woman should be comfortable in her own body. It doesn't matter what she's wearing. And then somebody on the flip side of that said, okay, with that being said, with your logic, it's okay for me to walk around with my dick out, and, y'all should be embracing a man's body, correct? You know what I'm saying? It was like that type shit. And me personally, honestly, where I stood on that picture, it was more of like an attention thing. You know what I'm saying? It was like a look at me type of thing. You know what I mean? Those, I can see those posts like a mile away. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, we get it. We know you bad. We know you got a body. We understand. Okay, we get it. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, what else is there to like about the picture? You know what I'm saying? Give me a reason to like it. Oh, why? Because you got a nice rack? Nah. Oh, because you got a big old ass? Nah. Like, what else is there to like about the picture? All right, cool. So I'm going to just keep scrolling. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people will say, you got some women that'll say, oh, stand up, man, always in a woman's business, mind your business, type shit like that. And it's just, it's so like tacky to me, man. It's so fucking tacky. Like, the accountability from either side is just crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I've seen more men, I'll tell you bad, I'm not gonna say that. The accountability between both sides, both are on the downside. They're like neck and neck with the accountability of them not taking it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's disgusting to watch people, do something and then say something or just end up doing something all around and they don't take accountability for it. It's always a deflection. The whole idea of, oh, well, no, because men do this and blah, 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 blah. Or no, because women do this and blah, blah, blah. Like, stop with the bullshit, bro. Just take accountability. Just take it. Wrap it up, do what you gotta do with it, and just keep it on pushing. Stop with all this shit where we gotta deflect and justify what we did because X, Y, and Z did it. No, stop with that shit. Because if you want to keep using that excuse forever, you're gonna keep failing in life using that same excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to think for your own self. Fuck what social media talking about. You gotta think for yourself. And then whenever you think for yourself, social media don't like that. You know what I mean? It's always a whole deal of, oh, you must be X, Y, and Z because blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't have that same train of thought that social media has, then it's one of those things where it's like, oh, then you're an outsider and, you must think that this is okay because you said that because you think that this is okay. You know what I mean? It's just a whole bunch of assumptions. It's like, fam, you don't know me from a can of paint. You only know me just off of what I post on the internet. And even then, I rarely post. So it's like, what's your angle? You know what I mean? So when I see shit like that, to me it's just funny, So I kept on scrolling, was looking at the comments and stuff, and some people was like, the same people who were saying mind your business, you all up in their business too, so you're not really minding your own business as well, and et cetera, et cetera. I just thought it was funny to me because I'm just like, all this back and forth on social media is for what? Validation, attention seeking. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, it's delusion. It's delusional. Like, you're delusional if that's all you do is you rely on social media to back up your opinions. It's delusion. Have your own train of thought, think on your own accord, and then just keep it on pushing. Oh, I don't want to get canceled. Who the fuck gives a fuck about cancel culture? Who cares? Because how cancel culture works, and I'm going to tell you, it's the dumbest culture in the world, but this is how cancel culture works. All you got to do is do this. Once you do something, they try to cancel you, quote unquote. Just give it some time. People don't really have any outrage until they open the app back up, or till something takes the place of that. You know what I mean? We've all seen it before. So who gives a shit about cancel culture? Who cares? Honestly, who really gives a fuck? It's really not even that serious. You know what I'm saying? So, who cares? But no, social media can be a wild place, man. Especially if you're not strong-minded and especially if you're strong-minded and you have your own way of formulating and shit like that, or you formulate your own thoughts and you go off of, what you see and all the evidence and shit like that. If that's how you are, then you should be fine. But it's tough if you don't align with what they say is right, But yeah, social media is wild. But I want to switch gears and talk about Call of Duty, man, because they came out and said that they're going to be taking a year off to make another Call of Duty. You know, man, that is probably the best thing I've heard in a while. You know what I mean? I'm really glad to see that. I'm really glad to see that they're actually taking time off to, really get in the bag and make a better Call of Duty. Like that is really good. Like I'm really glad. I'm really really glad to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because that off time, that year to take off to really get in there and really make something worthy. You know what I mean? That time really matters. You know what I mean? Instead of being on this crunch time where you have to hurry up and get the product out, and you have to hurry up and put this together, put that together, then wait on the patch later on, and it really gives them to be more thorough to not say with, but it really gives them the ability to be more thorough with the next installment and make sure that they have it fully fleshed out so that when it drops, it's complete. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can legit say it's complete. Of course, you have to, fix some bugs or glitches or whatever, but you can legit say it's complete. You know what I'm saying? And I really think that I think that that's a good thing for Call of Duty. Like, take a break. Like, really, really take a break and step back and look at, your entire catalog. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really think that could be something that could help Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? And we need that from a lot of games too, not just Call of Duty. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're gonna talk about that a little bit later on. Same thing about Call of Duty, FIFA. I heard that FIFA 23 might be the last FIFA that they make. I'm not sure where they're gonna go about that, but I heard FIFA 23 is supposed to be the last one that they're making. I don't know if they're gonna go the same way and take a year off or take some time off from FIFA. I don't know. Tell you the truth, FIFA's starting to run together like Madden. Honestly, I played every year of like FIFA, and since I came onto the PS5, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? But when I came over to the PS5 and started playing FIFA, I saw how they start to like really run together. You know what I mean? They start to play very similar. Some of the things that they said that they fixed, they really haven't fixed. So probably after 23, I really think that we should start getting real wholesome products. You know what I mean? We should really start getting some very wholesome games at that point, because that year that you're taking off, or whatever time you're gonna take off, that's really giving you time to make a game more complete. You know what I'm saying? That's that's what we need from Madden. We need that a lot from Madden. If they took a year off and just kept just updating Madden 20, whatever the last one was, but just took a year off to make sure the next one is like fully fleshed out, then we might be able to put Madden in conversation as to like, okay, this is what they did. I see what they tried to do, but let's try this. You know what I'm saying? They be more in tune with the community instead of just, going for what's going to make them money. You know what I mean? So if FIFA is taking time off, Madden's got to be next up, because NBA Live I'm pretty sure it's still in development, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try to make a comeback or they didn't come back at all. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah. But I'm really glad to see that some of these developers are really taking time off, or some of these companies are really taking time off to really like make a complete game. You know what I mean? But we just need that out of Madden. Madden should be next up on the list. I really want them to really sit down and make a game that's decent. You know what I'm saying? I really want them to do that. But hey, who knows? Let's see. Moving forward, Axis football, man. My God, dude, I gotta say, I'm really, really proud of Axis. I'm really glad to see Axis is actually improving. Like, I'm really glad to see them pushing the envelope. I'm really, really glad to see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really glad to see them go in here and actually, improve from the last iteration. Listening to the community and letting them really, tell them and somewhat dictate about, how they want the game to be. I really like that. I'm really appreciating that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it means a lot when an indie dev relies on the words of the people. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's up to us to whether or not we get a good, iteration of a game. It's up to us, per se. You know what I'm saying? Now, you go look at EA, right? You have EA. I won't say they listen to us, but they do this thing where it's like it's always a cash grab with a lot of things. You saw how everything is pretty much mirrored from the last iteration. You saw that. We all saw that. I even made videos breaking that down. You know what I mean? Some tackles, some sounds still being used. The same ones at that still being used. You know, the assets from FIFA being used over on Madden and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? You've seen that. You saw that firsthand. You know what I mean? You remember what the dislike counter was at that time? It's different now whenever they put out the trailer because we're not gonna be able to see the dislike counter. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty sure we can go on Social Blade and go look. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, you know, those things to me is what really makes me respect Access Football and Maximum Football or Modus Games, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Sunday Rivals and, you know, so on and so forth. You know, because they look forward to that feedback. You know what I'm saying? When you look at EA, it's more or less, okay, is this going to affect our pockets? You know what I'm saying? Is this going to be something to the point where we're going to regret this later? Or is this going to make us money per se? You know what I mean? That's their thing. But when I look at Axis or Maximum Football or Sunday Rivals or just a football game in general, just to name off a few, and they don't have the big AAA company like EA and 2K does, when you see them really putting forth the effort and saying that, hey, you guys said that y'all wanted X, Y, and Z. Okay, this is what we got so far. What do you guys think? That to me is beautiful. I love that. I love that to its core. I love it. I love seeing it. I love seeing that. You know what I mean? Because it makes you feel like your words mean something. Your feedback actually matters. I love that. I really, really love that. Like they posted a video not so long ago about them adding sideline catches. You know what I mean? And there's different variations of the sideline catch. You know, just seeing that alone, that to me I was like, that's some improvement. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have that before. It was mostly just, you know, you run your route. Then anytime you got to somewhere where you wanted to stop it, he'll just stop, turn around, and look for the ball. But now they're working on hitting guys in stride and trying to have progressive animations and sideline catches and toe taps and stuff like that. Like, that is beautiful to me. You know what I mean? They're working on different run animations and different throw animations and all kinds of stuff, man. It's just like, yo, like, you can say whatever you want. Oh, the graphics don't look that good, or what's the other thing they say? The player models look awful and all kinds of shit. Like, they'll say a whole bunch of stuff, and it is killing me because it's like, you know that this ain't a multi-million-dollar company. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have the indie crowd audience. They're indie devs, and I keep saying indie devs for a reason because they're small. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're real small, limited resources. Their team isn't as big as you would say EA Sports is or something of that nature. Like, you know what I'm saying? Their team isn't as big as them. But when you go back and you look at the community and see how verbal everybody is, that's why we cling to them so hard. That's why. It's beautiful to see that happening in real time. You know what I mean? But like I said, kudos to Axis, man. I really want to see where you guys take this next installment of Axis Football. And I want to see Modus Games come out too, man. I really hope that they do another beta test or alpha test, whatever you want to call it. Because they're supposed to be doing another one, but they're trying to figure out the best way to do it that'll minimize a leak happening again like last time, which I'm still pissed about because I wanted to play the damn alpha. But, you know, once they figure out how they're going to do it, they're going to start back up another test, which I'm going to sign up for again. I'm going to get up in that. You know what I mean? But yeah, shout out to Axis, man. That's really beautiful. I'm really glad to see that for sure. All right, so let's see. Moving forward. Let's see, where are we at? Okay, let's hypothesize real quick. So, you know, we got news that 2K football was coming back, right? Now, y'all remember some time back, I was like maybe last year or so, that, you know, 2K football can come back at any time, right? So, The only thing about 2K football is they can't use the real NFL. I mean, they can use NFL players, but they can't use the current ones because, of course, EA has the exclusive rights. They signed the exclusivity deal, so they can't use that. Now, what would 2K football be like now? Some people were saying like it'll end up being something like what's that shit? Some people say it'll be like WWE battlegrounds or something that's like real arcadey looking, you know what I mean, or like NBA playgrounds or something like that. They think it'd be like that kind of arcadey. Honestly, that's not what I'm looking for with 2K coming back, 2K football coming back. But I don't know. I hypothesize it only being because at this point, it's all we can do is just hypothesize. I hypothesize it being a it's a I would say I don't know because I would say it, but then I would just this is how I would want it to be. I would think of it as like a 2K8 clone. You know what I mean? That's how I would see it. Because I don't see it being nothing else but that. You know what I mean? Like it still has its arcade tendencies, but it can still be that 2K football that we were all looking for. So I don't know what I'm thinking of it being as because they saw how highly regarded 2K8 was. Since they can't go to 2K5, people still rely on 2K football, 2K8 football to show the key fundamentals of football. I think that it's going to be something like that, but just maybe with a little bit more of an arcade spin to it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said, only thing we could do is hypothesize because we don't really know for sure what could it be like. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I want to see 2K football come back, but I don't want it to be made a mockery of. I don't want them to come out and present a football game, and then when it comes out, people turn around and be like, "Oh, this is the 2K football y'all were talking about." You know what I mean? People want to try to use that as ammo to try to say that you want 2K football to come back and this is what comes out. You want this to compete with Madden. You know what I mean? Like that's going to give people ammo to say that, oh yeah, 2K football is trash. You all saw what they put out, and that's supposed to compete with Madden 23 or 24 or whatever. Are you serious? You know what I'm saying? So I really hope that when it does come out, it's something like 2K8. I hope that it's like that. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that it turns into something of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Because I really want to see 2K football come back and be on top, but I don't really see them going the whole arcadey, over the top, overly exaggerated football. I don't see that. You know what I mean? I don't see that happening, and I hope that they don't go that way. But if they do, then I don't know. I can't okay it, but I'm not gonna turn my back on it. So I don't know. Another thing, man, I wish game day was still around. Like I really wish that I really wish that NFL Fever was still around. You know what I mean? Like those games to me, which I never played NFL Fever. Some people say that NFL Fever was good. I was playing game day, college and NFL because I think they had all the way up to like I think 04, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It might be a little further than that. But I remember playing it and I was just like, yo, this was a solid game, man. From the game having its animations, but they were so clean. Like, you know what I mean? That wasn't a game where physics wasn't not a stranger, but in combination between animations and physics, the game was pretty damn good for its time. Like that was another game that I played heavily, second next to 2K football, and that was game day. I really enjoyed the input on game day. You know what I mean? Just the fundamentals of football. Like they started with the fundamentals first and then branched out. You can't have a solid foundation. You can't have a solid foundation and then just make a football game. Like it has to start somewhere solid first in the middle, and then you build upon that. I never understood why EA feels like it's okay to completely to keep going in and completely tearing down the foundation of what made it decent that year or the year before that, and then rebuild it again and having us work from a new foundation. Like, that's what makes it so bittersweet each year, because every time we find somewhere that'll work and we just build upon that, it keeps getting brought down. Game day, I played game day and I just saw how solid it was. You know what I mean? Just how the fundamentals of football was first. That was the first thing that you saw first. And then once you got past the fundamentals, then you started seeing how solid the game was all around. It was very cohesive. You know what I mean? And then we'll go look at NFL Fever. To tell you the truth, I've never played NFL Fever. I didn't have an Xbox. I was on PlayStation all the time. So I do remember seeing NFL Fever, and I believe they were probably still like on par, spot on to 2K football. You know what I mean? Or so, so I've heard. But I heard NFL Fever was pretty damn good. Another game I remember playing was NFL QB Club 2002. Was it 2002? Yeah. So if you ever go on YouTube, sometimes you remember how they would do the Pro Bowl some years, and they have like the little mini games and stuff that they would do. QB Club was an actual football game, but there was a mode where they took what you would see like all the quarterbacks and stuff doing, where they got to run through the cones and they got to hit their targets, and they used to have like the blue chalk at the end of the ball where they had to throw it and hit it on a target, whether it be this big bullseye target and stuff like that. It was cool to see. I think, was it Acclaim who did it? I'm not sure. I don't know off the top of my head. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I remember seeing that, and I was just like, wow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they always look to push the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Or they always look to try to capture that environment and do the best job that they can at doing that. I always thought that to me was beautiful. I love seeing that. You know what I mean? Like, I always thought to me that was beautiful. I love seeing that. You know what I mean? So it was cool to watch them, bring what they saw to TV and put that in the video game, and you can play right alongside. You know what I mean? But I wonder what it would be like now if game day was still around. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how they fizzled out, but I would like to see what game day could do if the studio was still around. I think that's another thing too. I think that eventually the studio ended up going under, and people had to go on their separate paths and go on their separate ways. But if the studio was still there, I wonder how that would be. Just a little random food for thought. I know 2K4 was another game that 2K4 was a pretty good game too. Because remember I told you in that one video I did while I was talking about the first time I started falling in love with 2K. Aside from it being on Dreamcast, I remember I played a demo on it was a 2K4 demo. I thought it was 2K5 for the longest, but it was actually 2K4. And I remember playing that, and that was the first time that they talked about first person football. And I remember I played a demo where it was like, you got to play like 3 or 4 teams, or either 4 or 6 teams, and they let you play it. Everybody was 100 overall. And all it was basically, the game wasn't, meant to be difficult, but it was just to show you how it was to show you how the game plays and how it works and what the controls feel like, how the game runs cohesively. That's just what it was. But I remember playing 2K4, and with that, I'm gonna have to actually have a PS2 for that one, because my PS3 won't run it. It'll run it, but it'll start glitching out and acting all stupid. So I don't know why it does that, but I think I'm gonna need an actual PS2 for this one, or it just might be glitchy all around. I don't know, but yeah, 2K4 was pretty damn good. Like, the animations were great. You know what I'm saying? It had more animations than 2K5 did. I think 2K5 kind of came down on the animations, I think. You know what I mean? But if you can tell there's a stark contrast between 2K4 and 2K5, you know what I mean? But when I did play 2K4, I liked how the game felt. Even though you played on the hardest difficulty, you still had a chance at really breaking tackles or getting a good pass off on somebody, or just all around playing your game and manipulating not manipulating, but just still trying to, find your way around the game and try to come out on top of a win, whether it might be an easy landslide win or it might be a hard fought win. And if you lose, then that's something that you got to take responsibility in, because you didn't play a certain way, specifically how you're supposed to. You know what I mean? But Aside from that, then we're looking at I'm just going down the list of like football games that I remember back then and how they would fare now. But give you an example, Madden '07. Madden '07, that was a very like pivotal point in my football game playing career where it was fun. It was deep, it was intuitive. I loved going into franchise mode and my bad. I love going into franchise mode and seeing the newspaper for each individual city or each team. Like, Cowboys have the Dallas Morning News and the Eagles will have their, well, I'll just say that because I know I'm from Cal, so, they have the Dallas Morning News. That was their newspaper. But, I remember seeing that and it was just, it was cool to see how, if we played the Eagles and what the news article would be for the Eagles if we beat the Cowboys, and then go look at the Cowboys and see what they said about them losing to, X, Y, and Z, and then they have the Tony Bruno show, and you'll have some coaches calling in from said games that are getting ready to play for that, and it was so cool to me. You know what I mean? I always look back on it and I just be like, damn, like where's that same innovation that we used to have back then? Where is that now? We don't have that anymore. The only thing that we have now is like you have people that can make a draft class depending on what the information that they can get from the classes that's supposed to be the draft classes that are coming to that year of the NFL. You can make a draft class, but it doesn't hit the same when you don't have an NCAA game that you can actually play through a season. And people say that they're going to declare for a draft. You can take that draft class and move it over to the next Madden, and then when you play your season, either when you play your season or before you start the season, you can import your draft class that you have from NCAA and use that. Excuse me, sorry, I hit my mic. You can use that draft class that you brought over from there and use that as your draft class. And then I'll never forget this. They had this part where they had the end of it was called the EA Sports All-Star Game. And all it was it took the entire draft class and it compiled it between two teams of East and West. And all it was just a big scrimmage game. And you figured out who was, the top tier players of that year and who was like the weakest one. You know what I'm saying? I remember every year that, especially if I knew my quarterback was going to leave, or I knew a player that I had that was hot and I knew he was going to do something when he got to the league, I tried to make sure that I grabbed him. You know what I mean? But lo and behold, because of how he did that year, and this was also cool too, because of how he did that year, depending on what his stats was, they already had him predetermined to be drafted top 10 or top 5 or somewhere in the first round. Like we was gonna make sure that they grabbed him. You know what I'm saying? Because he had a good year that year. If he was the Heisman winner, if whoever won Heisman that year, best believe that he was going top 5. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely going to be a hot commodity when he got to the draft. You know what I mean? Like I love seeing stuff like that. I loved being able to play with like at the time I think Tim Tebow was still there. But I remember taking Manuel Moody. I remember taking who else was there? I remember Jaworski Lane was there. At the time I was playing with Texas A&M. But I remember Jaworski Lane came to the NFL and I was like, yeah, I gotta get him. Like, where is he? I know he's a big stocky dude, and to me it was crazy how the guys were built in NCAA. They came over with that same body type. I don't know what it is in that file system, you know what I mean? But I just thought that it was really cool to see everything transfer over and nothing got messed up in the process. You know what I mean? The ratings actually the ratings were actually mirrored pretty well from how they were in college. They might have went down or they might have had some sort of a progression when it got to the season. You know what I mean? It was beautiful watching your teammates like grow and progress and get better each year or each game. That to me was beautiful in Madden. You know what I mean? That was when money wasn't an objective. You know what I'm saying? Money wasn't the immediately end all be all of, is this going to be good? You know what I'm saying? It was always first about the game, the gameplay. You know what I mean? What would the football fans want? You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love seeing that. That's what made me want to pick up NCAA and Madden each year. That's what made me want to do it, because I love the fact that they kept the innovation there. They kept the immersion there. You know what I'm saying? Some of the times, you get a little whacked out on it, and you happen to go a little bit too far, blowing out teams and shit like that. But whatever the case is, like it felt good to play a game knowing the fact that it mirrored what you saw on TV, and it did a damn good job of doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, fast forward to now, if NCAA came out today or tomorrow, honestly, man, I can't say that I feel that same sentiment. I can't say that I feel that, because I see what they did with Madden 22, what they could possibly do to 23, what they did to 21, what they did to 20. You know what I'm saying? We're on next gen right now. We're on next gen. And I'm going to keep saying next gen because not everybody has it. But we're on next gen right now. And you see how they're still very loose with how they make Madden. So just think about when NCAA drops. Now, tell you the truth, I see what people are talking about how when they said that NCAA and Madden were two different games. And that's true, because in all Madden, that was Madden. You felt the like that was like the hardest difficulty. Each team played accordingly. When I played on what was that? It was Legend. Or was it No, it was Heisman. Heisman was the highest difficulty. When you played on Heisman that was like all Madden, but on NCAA. Tell you the truth, playing on Heisman, that shit didn't really feel any different. You know what I'm saying? Like I could still run through a team, and it didn't matter, who was there. I could still run through them with no problem. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was easier in NCAA. It was so easy to play on NCAA versus Madden. Madden, you had to come with a little bit more of a format when you played against some of these teams, and you had the players that you had, But just like I said, just going back and looking at how innovative it was at that time, and then looking at it now, it sometimes it makes me sad, because money just came in and just screwed up the entire vision. If money was not an object, I feel like we would have the Madden that we really are like looking for. We would have the 2K that we're all looking for. We would have legitimate options other than Madden versus your 2K and the game day stuff. If those companies were still around and making football games, we would have a lot more diversity. You know what I'm saying? And the conversation would still be there as to what is the best football game. You know what I mean? But speaking of like different options, I played Pro Evolution Soccer last night, and man, I will say, man, it's a different game. If you play FIFA, you can feel the difference. But honestly, man, like I really like how Pro Evolution Soccer plays, man. It doesn't feel like I'm controlling a puppet. You know what I'm saying? It feels like I'm actually controlling an actual player, because the player's weight, and how they anticipate the ball, and how I can control the ball, not just with manipulating the controls, but or holding a trigger, or holding this button down and making him do this and making him do that. And I'm not gonna lie, man, Pro Evolution Soccer felt pretty good. I would definitely say that. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see, 2K football. Another thing was I know that there's an ability, not ability, but there's a way to turn your Series X into a you can turn your Series X into an emulation device. Now, I didn't know it. Now, I knew about this, but I didn't really feel like going through the trouble to do it. So apparently you can go in and you can turn your console into developer mode. Take your console, turn it into developer mode, and once you do that, you go in there, you tweak some settings or whatever. You go in there, once you do that, then you can put on this thing called RetroArch. I think that's what it's called, RetroArch, I think. And you could do that, and then once you turn, my bad, I hit my mic again, damn it. You could do that, and once you turn on RetroArch, it'll let you run any ISO that you want. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, 2K football, I think it's the remastered version. You can actually play that. You know what I mean? Everybody talking about the remastered version of 2K football, and they're like, "Yeah, man, you should check that out." Yeah, so I think I'm able to do that. I don't know. I might have to go back in and look to see if I actually can, but I really think that I can. So I'm gonna look at that tonight and see exactly what I can do, and if I can get it running and get that going, Like I think I might have did something, man. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, I'm a football fanatic just like y'all, man. Like, and to see, people putting in their best effort to make sure that there's a good football game out. If that means remastering, quote unquote, a old football game and to make it into what it is now, like, I am all for that. Because I got it on PS3, well, because it's backwards compatible. So I'm playing 2K5 on PS2, but I have the 21, 22 rosters on there, with Jalen Hurts, well, I'm naming off my Eagles team, but with Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Jason Peters, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, and so on and so forth. So, it feels good to play these old games with new and updated rosters because it breathes a new life into it. So instead of you just playing with the old throwback rosters, because that's what's gonna kill it for me at least. That's what killed it. You know what I mean? Like, of course I'll get into the whole nostalgia thing of it being 2K5. I remember when I used to play it and sat up all night and stuff like that. But then eventually it gets to a point where it's like you're tired of playing with the old rosters. You know what I mean? So it's like, how can I get the new updated rosters? And then that's where you go on from there. But yeah, man, I'm really glad to see that people are opening their eyes and finding different football games to play aside from Madden and really seeing it for what it's worth. I'm glad to see that. One last thing before I get out of here. There's a lot of hidden gems on PS3, and I'm gonna have to make a video talking about it one day. But just want to give you a quick little glance at it. But there's this game called The Club, and it sounds weird, I know, but what the club is, it's like a shooter. It's like a shoot 'em up. It's in third person, and all it is basically you're supposed to be part of like this club. It's pretty redundant, but you're supposed to be part of this club, and you're in competition with these other people. And what you do is you're in these buildings or you're in these stages where you have to run through this certain stage at a certain time or a certain amount of time, and you're on like a timer or whatever, and you can do like a multiplier. So it's arcade style, but it's like it's a shooter. You know what I mean? Has great physics. Like, you know what I mean? I love a game that has great depth animation for physics. I love that. You know what I mean? You have that, and then you have different stages. Some stages you go through in reverse. Some of them you just have just a regular A to point A to point B. You got different ones with shortcuts. You have like different things, like you have like these signs that you got to shoot that might give you a little bit extra points at the end. And it's almost like it's like an Olympic event. You know what I mean? You have like a certain amount of like waves or a certain amount of stages to go through, and like you'll go through here. Okay, you did this well in this stage. You got 10 points. Person behind you has 8. Other person has 5. These are the current standings. It's like that. You know what I mean? When you get a chance, check out The Club. And at some point down the line, I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel so y'all see what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, I think that about does it for this podcast, man. I'm going to wrap this thing on up, man. I really appreciate every last one of y'all checking out this podcast. Like I said, man, I'm not harping over the numbers, man. Just if you check it out, you check it out. I appreciate the people that do. Because I already know what it is, man. A lot of people that subscribe to this channel, they're not really looking for the podcast, but they'll just take a listen to it just to do it. But the ones who are really like in tune with the podcast, I really appreciate y'all, man. I'm doing it for y'all. And for the ones that want to come along and listen to the podcast, y'all are more than welcome. The more the merrier. And I really appreciate every last one of y'all actually showing love on these videos, man. It really means a lot. I just checked my about page, and I'm at like 500,000 views. You know what I mean? So that really says something to me. You know what I mean? I've been doing this thing since 2012, or at least on this channel. And I've come a long way, man. So I really appreciate every last one of y'all come through, check out these videos, especially this podcast, man. Everywhere else that y'all listening to this podcast on, or any platform that y'all listening to this on, I really appreciate y'all checking it out, man. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. And everywhere else, man, make sure you hit that subscribe, follow, whatever button that pertains to your platform. Make sure you do that to get more podcasts that are coming up in the future. But yeah, I'm going to get up out of here, man. Appreciate all the love and support y'all for showing these videos, man. Make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. Like always, man, it's your boy DiVine, and I'm signing out. Peace.